Here we thought that Toronto School Board teachers were dedicated to teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, especially with the dismal standardized test results in the last couple of years. But it seems those 3 R's have been replaced with resist, revolution, and reduce alleged oppression. This educator, Yavar Davila, who calls himself a queer Latina transformer and works in the Gender Violence Prevention Unit, whatever that is, of the Toronto School Board, has produced 2 manuals in recent weeks curating resources on the Israeli-Palestine conflict. The only problem is that the resources he's curated are all with a decidedly anti-Israel bias. The 2 manuals, both of them more than 50 pages, contain resources that teachers can use to teach their children, allegedly, about the Palestine-Israel conflict, except that the sources all come from a Palestinian bias and are extremely anti-Israel, bordering on anti-Semitic. There are books that portray Israeli settlers and Israeli soldiers as murderers and thieves. There is a whole section on how to teach children about the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, a hateful movement against Israel, which encourages people to boycott Israeli products, Israeli authors, academics, and artists. After the Sun revealed the manual, and there are 2, the supporters of Javier started a petition, most of them labor unions and special interest groups, in which they call for justice for Javier. This is all, of course, happening while students are supposed to be taught online. The petition says that oppression teaching and equity teaching is being censored by the Toronto School Board, except that it's not being censored because the petition is still up and has 1,600 signatures. So the petition asks, among other things, that the TDSB not deign to respond to the incredibly biased reporting or messaging of known hate groups or individuals affiliated with such groups, implying that the Sun is a hate group. It also asks that the board release a statement condemning Israel's occupation, illegal occupation, and colonization of Palestine. There is no mention in the petition of the constant bombing of Israel by some 4,000 missiles sent from Gaza by Hamas. Mr. Davila, in his blog that he wrote on Sunday, says that he deliberately included news articles that use the terms forced evictions, illegal occupation, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, and colonial projects, and that he doesn't shy away from difficult conversations. Except that throughout these materials, the 2 manuals, he does not include the Israel side of the narrative at all. The materials, the 2 manuals that Mr. Davila sent out, were not approved by the board, the Toronto District School Board, and they continue to maintain that. They also say that they are investigating him and other teachers who have made some pretty anti-Israel comments on Twitter and on a teachers forum group. Well, the Toronto School Board officials say they don't back these manuals and didn't approve them. They're still out there, being used by teachers. The petition is still online. They have not pulled it. So, which is it? They don't back it, or they're allowing it. Actions speak louder than words. In my view, the Toronto School Board has strayed so far from its mandate of actually teaching children the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and this is why they are doing so poorly on standardized tests. For the Toronto Sun, I'm Sue Ann Levy.